My name is Joel. I'm one of the chief floor scrubbing engineers here at the Klondike Brewing Company. The brewery itself started in 2009. We used to operate out the road about 2 miles out the highway. In 2016 in the fall, we moved to this location. Did all the build out in fall, winter of 16. 2017, one of the fellow floor scrubbers, Damien, we kind of said, hey, this is what we're thinking. He drew it on paper. I was like, I didn't know you could draw. And then he literally built the place. Pretty incredible. First beer out the faucets in the spring of 2018, in May. I was told, actually, I was never going to be a brewer. This was never part of my life plan. This has kind of happened. I was brought on as the project manager for that transfer. So we rebranded. They were doing something else before. We came on in 2016. I was the project manager. I was in charge of moving permits, licenses, doing the build out, working with contractors, whatever it might be. I was working in a previous family business with Damien, actually. I got fired from my job there and hired in the same sentence by my father-in-law to come over here. And I said, all right, that's fine. I'm going to bring Damien with me. I left Minneapolis after I graduated high school. I went to River Falls, Wisconsin for college. I was kind of trying to avoid the winter in Central America. I was in grad school. A gentleman said he had a job he didn't think I could offer, and I ended up in Anchorage in 2006. I worked at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center in Portage, Alaska. I was working there one day. They said, you're in charge of the bear cubs. Those bear cubs coincidentally went to the Minnesota Zoo, where my high school prom was at even. That was funny. The bear thing happened. I was like, well, bears are awesome. I want to do the bear thing. So my next job, I worked as a naturalist, and some of the stuff I did was specifically bear-centric. And there was helicopters. The helicopter thing, I was like, well, helicopters are cool. The bears were cool. The helicopters are cool. And then I ended up working for Temsco Helicopters out of Juneau as a glacier guide on the Mendenhall Glacier. Great water. Could make great beer out of that water. I think some people do, actually. The history of brewing beer in Skagway, there would have been, Skagway obviously started due to a gold rush that happened that might have a name similar to Klondike. 1896 to 1899 being those prime years, 98 being the big one. There was the Skagway Brewing Company, UAY, that was here, and then there was a few other ones. There were some people that were delving into things. There was, of course, a lot of homemade product going on. No, we're very big on clean fermentation, so we'll do 6 generations of yeast here. We'll do a fresh pitch, and then we'll harvest it 5 times and subsequently use it on the 6th generation. We will re-pitch again. So some people are, absolutely. People they've been doing all kinds of stuff. There's been bottles of beer, for instance, that have been discovered underwater that they've been able to extract yeast from. And they're trying to actively replicate that yeast and brew beer with it. It's pretty incredible. So yes, you can do that. Are we doing that here? I assure you we are not. We are using fresh, clean yeast. The name. So being in Skagway, the Klondike being the legacy of that name, is definitely why we went with Klondike Brewing Company. We want to establish ourselves as the gold standard. We feel very strongly that name says that this should be liquid gold, essentially. All kinds of beers. So we're very much a toury. We know what we are. We're a seasonal game. Taproom-wise, we produce year-round. We barrel-age products here in bourbon barrels. We do true lager pilsner cycles. Lager pilsner beers take longer to make due to a cold conditioning period called lagering. So 75 to 90 days, we can do that here because the taproom is only utilized in the summer. So as a toury, so it's pretty fantastic. So we're able to specialize in lager pilsner style beers. We actually have 4 lager pilsners on tap right now. We have 2 barrel age offerings on tap right now. Plus we have our IPAs, we have our fruited wheat ales, and stouts and anything and everything kind of in between. So we believe that the traveling public should have a variety to choose from. So that's what we offer. Free beer. Here, my favorite beer here, we brew a beer here called Klondike Original. It is our original, if I was allowed to swear in this interview, I would tell you it was a yuck up. We were trying to make something else, and when we were tasting it during the process, doing sensory, It immediately took me back to, unfortunately, stealing beer from my father. And it's just beer. It is just malt and water. It is a great, just beer. So I always say it's like you stole it from your old man and should have a deer on the can. But that's our Klondike Original, and that's one of my favorites. And that's one of those beers that we get that 75 to 90 day lager period on. So that is a crisp, clear, beautiful golden hued beer. Enthusiasm can drive anything. So what our most popular sellers are honestly whatever our servers are delivering at any given moment. Because really a lot of what their personal favorites are come off in their individual sales.